Look at the process of building from inside the immersive worlds of Arrival.Space and Viverse. So, Jens, thanks for joining me today here at the cast.
Thank you.
I am looking forward to diving into your work. I have gotten to know you over the last few years as someone who has a beautiful eye for what is lovely to experience in the immersive space. And that is a unique quality that I think others can learn from. So, we're going to be going into an experience in Arrival Space first. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes. So I'm gonna share screen here.
Welcome to Realitycast by Realitycraft.
There we are. We're coming to Arrival Space first. Well, Spawn, you have arrived to the best. Where are we in the world now?
We are in Basel city, Switzerland, and you are on the ominous Münsterplatz, which is the main church place of my hometown. And actually, I took on the big endeavor to take a capture of this space in order to tell a story later on with it. And I run into quite some challenges because it's not easy to capture such a wide space as it was not very easy to start with a big space like this one, to start off with the capture. I should have maybe taken on a smaller project. But anyways, I went through it and actually it came out very beautifully. I must say that I got support from a young technologist and a young 3D artist. His name is Jaime Rio Velasco. I think he's going to be great in this field. And we have been trying to get the capture up and running with reality capture and then tools that are available in in Unreal. And well, what we see now here in Arrival Space, I also used for the experience I did for the creator program of Viverse.
So tell me what we're looking at here. This is a splat, is that correct?
Yeah, these are several splats together. So I wanted to make a little showcase what I love to do in every day, actually, when I get out and rediscover my hometown after having been abroad for 27 years. I really rediscover things, and this can refer to fountains or to statues or to just fun places too. So for instance, this was happening at the backyard. It discovered it was happening at the backyard just across my house. A clothing store was inaugurating their line in summer. So I decided to capture their idea of actually placing a cupboard in the middle of the garden. I think it's a really beautiful approach because it's like a portal to their work in this case. And I just placed it in this capture of the Münsterplatz just to make a bit of a case how I like to approach, let's say, novelty or what I could consider inspiring things.
So when you say capture and you have multiple splats, talk us through what you used. Did you use a mobile phone or a special camera, or how did you go about this?
Well, I normally use my telephone because that's what I have at hand. And I think that's also the most powerful tool, although the quality is still a little bit questionable, especially if you want to scan bigger places or spaces as such. But it's great. It's still enough for getting details and having actually getting the soul of something. And in this case, this statue, I used Scanniverse too. Obviously, there was a whole surrounding. You get back, there was a whole surrounding, but I cut it out in Supersplat later. So that's one way. And Supersplat you might have heard of. Supersplat is a tool from PlayCanvas that allows to edit the splats, the PLY files, and you can also compress them in a very neat manner. You go down with file size, I would say 60% to even 70%, and they are constantly updating, let's call it algorithm, in order to get the file size smaller and having a better quality of a splat. For instance, this one, Evo, That was taken in a volumetric capture stage with these guys, the freestylers. And they have just a marvelous philosophy behind why would we want to capture people from within their activities. I think they are doing just fantastic work, and I would very much like to expand my relationship with them. And I headed down to a big lake in Switzerland and colliding with Germany, where they built their volumetric capture stage. Actually, they never took a scan of their volumetric capture stage, and I did that. So here you can see it.
Oh, tiny.
It's a miniature, but that was actually the setup, the rigging of the cameras in order to get this scan here. And this is by far the highest quality scan I got. And it doesn't, sorry, we have some C buffer problems here, but it's absolutely marvelous what they got out. That's
very high quality. And that's the difference between 100 cameras from all directions and one camera that's walking around from a mobile phone. So that's a fidelity. You can really see the difference in the fidelity on that Vespa and on the leg. It's really remarkable. So you took these splats and scans as PLY files, and then you brought them. Tell me, did you bring them into Play Canvas? I see. Yes.
This is Super Splat, and actually I got 3 renders from Lars Charles and from Lars and what's his name? Lars and Felix. Yes, Felix it is. So yes, Lars and Felix sent me immediately after the capture, sent me the file, and it worked with the QR code. So you could practically step into the volumetric capture stage and get a result on your phone. And that's fascinating. It's still a still frame, but let's say one frame, but from there going video is not going to be big trouble, I have the notion. So then I imported, I'm sorry?
So that workflow was their workflow from their studio in Germany, and they were able to send you almost immediate files back for collaboration.
Exactly. It took a bit, several minutes, but we are talking minutes, not hours, or even not passing anything along at all.
Right. Pre-pandemic, these captures took weeks to clean up. And now we're seeing that almost immediate in the software from different companies, whether reality capture workflow, or I tested the XRGuide new cameras recently as well for almost immediate in terms of the turnaround for being able to deliver a file, whether you're trying to work on a collaboration for a film or a world building project. That's a huge difference, 3 weeks to almost immediate.
True that. I think I was very lucky to get together with people who had made a huge contribution to that field in the States, US. 40 Fun is one of those companies. And then Christina Heller also from MetaStage invited me once over. But that was before the pandemic. I was fascinated by this process from early on, because what I think is the last real step in media is the immersion, holographic perception of things. So we can choose the framing, we can choose where we want to go, and this technology allows us to explore. And what is interesting for me especially is scaling. I can go really into something very small, I can blow it up, or something very big, I can make it very small. So this relationship with our size and our proportions are being blown up, so to speak, or shrunk down. And that is interesting for me because we can show now processes and energetic connections we couldn't have displayed that easily, or it was just displayed in 2D. And I think we are 3-dimensional, 5-dimensional beings, multi-dimensional beings. That's why this is going deep. Emotionally, I think there is a straight connection. But that's just me. I don't know how others relate to that. I have the notion that I'm onto something.
Yes, I think you are. And we're starting to see volumetric capture, whether that's splats or other methods, being used in world building for television and for film. Everything from Doctor Who to Superman are using these methods in the cinematic process too. So I think you are onto something, and it is available in the immersive web. This is all on the web, what you're showing us right now. So you can go to Arrival.Space. What is your URL at Arrival.Space?
It's a Kulltur. This is another URL appearing, but I type it in just to reload maybe. Kulltur.
And so you can go to Arrival.Space now and see this body of work and just walk through it as we are now. And then in a moment, you're going to take us through a portal to another world that you've created as well. Now, you didn't start out as a world builder. You started out as a photographer and journalist. Is that correct? You were making videos.
I was a videographer and photographer in my years in Mexico around the 2000s, and I got to be a flame artist, visual effect artist. So I could always take things and put them together. And actually, here we are going to a room where that was the first time I really got to compose a different splats together, and it was splats of people, and they all have I'm a compositing artist. That's what I think is a good way to spell it out, and not just on a visual level. I also am very affine to bring stories together by merging things, places with stories, for instance, that could not have been told the same way if we wouldn't have now this volumetric and immersive medium.
So now you've brought us into some sort of interesting holodeck-like environment where there are lots of unusual people. So the splattering, this was your Polly's award piece, if I remember right.
Yes, correct. I was very inspired by several people of the industry who were already taking sort of a volumetric capture or scanning people. And when I think it's really compelling as a photographer to do things differently than just, hey, I'm going to take a picture of you, asking them to stay still. 150 years ago, hey, you have to hold still in order for me to scan you, because if you move, it's going to be the shot won't be good. So I focused on the people I had around me in Hollywood, around Beechwood Canyon, and there was people from the farmers market. I cherish their work deeply because thanks to them we get good food and we can nourish ourselves in a tangible way, not having to eat things that we're not supposed to eat. And then there's the sound healer, there's my daughter, and there is a friend that's very coffee oriented. He brings the best coffee. And then we have also people I met through Halloween. This guy.
Yeah, there's the gamer cosplay going on in the back, and Jesus.
Exactly. So it's just a celebration of humanity. This is a young couple from Mexico that came to Amoeba Records, obviously before the disaster hit. And they fulfilled their dream to buy a record from a band they both like very much. Then here is my son, who is getting in shape. Then, well, there's just a whole array of people that I got to scan, and I connect with them like that. And it was an intent of getting into an artistic realm that has not been examined a lot, I would say.
It's certainly unique even among splats. I see a lot of architectural splats and some human, but what you've done here is shown almost what a park experience feels like when you walk into a big city park and everybody's there from all walks of life. It feels like that. And it feels like there's a story there. And not every splat feels like a story, but that one does. And I understand you also took some of these ideas and brought them over to the world of Viverse as well. Is that correct?
Yes. I got the opportunity to be part of the creators program of Viverse that started at the end of last year. I already did something for Mozilla Hubs with a company called Spaceboy.
Yes.
And Spaceboy is a Mexican 3D company, and I worked a lot with them. So I asked them to make a world in Mozilla Hubs to showcase their work. And it was a beautiful world, but as we all know, Mozilla Hubs is no more. And if I remember well, Michael Moran from Viverse contacted me and asked me, hey, do you feel like, making a world, getting a world done? And I came up with the concept I wanted to do for a long time, especially because it had to do with my hometown.
Ah,
So it was a storytelling challenge. I'm not 100% happy with it. And I think Viverse gives us a huge opportunity to work with Splats now. I'm not a quick learner when it's about game engines, but I'm quick in doing scans and I'm quick in getting things aligned in order to tell a story. But the best thing that can happen to me is to collaborate with people that are actually very savvy when it's about getting the technical aspects up and running, dependencies or the fantasies. My imagination has no limits, but play canvas, and that's how Viverse actually is built. It's built on a play canvas workspace. Has been a challenge for me, but let's go in and you judge for yourself. I'm gonna walk around.
moving into Viverse, full screen in Switzerland.
Right. Well, yes, this is the same scan you saw in at the Arrival.Space, but now connected to a story that happened in 1566. So there is a drawing that has been printed by locals that shows the appearance of big black and white spheres in the morning sky. And I just find this to be compelling enough to revisit it and to recreate it. So you can recreate it, but based on a task. For instance, I think this whole thing happened because they were hallucinating. And they were hallucinating because they were eating bread that was ergot infested. And this is a mushroom that is actually appearing in bread or in corn. And it's the precursor for the most famous hallucinogenic drug out there. And it was invented, actually was found in Basel City too by Albert Hoffman. So I made the connection without going too much into the detail of the drug aspect of it. I just think it's an interesting thing to do, to explore that possibility and revisit the place and how it could have been for those people actually seeing this. So you go and collect these bread loaves, which I also scanned, which are also Gaussian splats. And then you also get to visit two places of the church. They're saints that protect the city, so to speak. Or in this case, it's this saint is killing the dragon.
And wow,
Yep.
so this is recreating 1566. Did you share this with the folks in Switzerland? What did they say?
Yes, I did. But I first wanted to finish my, let's say, I'm still one step away from having the world fully released as such. It's available right now, but I want to make an impact with the right people at the right moment. Actually, this happened in August, so I got in touch with the bakery and actually going to work for this bakery for a bit, which is called the Kulltur Bakery. And because they have really good bread, artisanal bread, and they do it as they did it 200, 300 years ago.
Makes a lot of sense. I had heard about the ergo story because of the Salem witches, and that is also suspected to be part of that storyline as well. So this is a very interesting story that you've made into, this is basically a quick game that could be played in classrooms even.
For sure. And the educational aspect of it is very subtle. I don't want to educate people on something, but people that are interested in this kind of story and where we are at in human evolution, they're going to go dig deeper, I'm sure. So they're going to activate here the experience touch. So this is
whoa.
and here
Now it
comes
feels like a video
tilt
game.
brush. And now it's tilt brush. So the tilt brush is coming into the game. And the beauty of this is that this is also a Gaussian splat. And it took me a long time to figure this out, how to actually get the tilt brush into a play canvas. And
wow. And so you've painted this in tilt brush, and then
yes.
you've made it a volumetric asset that you brought into Viverse. It has the effect of the tornado in Wizard of Oz.
All right. I like that comparison quite a bit because that's cinematically speaking, probably one of the most important moments anyways. So thank you.
No, it has that, it's dramatic and it feels scary. I'm not sure why it feels scary, but it does.
It can be scary. And that's something that we are not used at all to. And I think there are several terrible beauties out there. So
this process, then you went into VR, you painted that piece, and then you said you took it into Play Canvas?
Yes, I took it. Actually, first, what I did is I did a camera path, and I exported. I went around it as if I would be scanning it, and then with the camera path, with Jaime's help, he figured out how to get a splat out of it, and with the tools that we have available, reality capture and to align the cameras was a hassle. You see that this is not the quality of a tilt brush, but I'm very keen on actually developing a tool that allows artists, tilt brush artists, to feed into these worlds with Gaussian splats. And I'm praying since a long time and someone picking up on it. And I've got offers to actually, a company would do it for $3,000 to get all the brushes up and running in Play Canvas, for instance, because those brushes do not translate well. They are grayed out or so. Not to worry, we will get there. But I don't know, to a certain degree. I'm experimenting here, and this experiment has been hugely fun.
It's beautiful. It's really, I love the distance, the views, but this also sort of abstract, otherworldly experience of it as well. And I've seen some of the same limitations you're describing, right? So I was working on a graffiti-based experience, and that doesn't translate well yet. But for some people, they find that they can use Unity as their single source of truth. And if they build in Unity, it can be ported out. So let's recap some of the tools we've talked about today. We've talked about reality capture. We've talked a little bit about Unreal Engine, but also capture of splats from the mobile phone.
Yes.
And then we talked about Play Canvas, right? The super splat ecosystem for being able to bring those splats together and then bring them into Arrival.Space or even here to Viverse. So Play Canvas is almost like a game engine, but not quite. It's almost like a light version of a game engine. How would you describe it?
Well, I think it's a game engine. I would say it's a game engine because what they have been improving in the last months. It exists for, I think, 12 years already. This is not it's not their first rodeo. And Will Eastcott, the founder, he's super active in getting this game engine established for actually game making. And they are very keen and very good at converting those Gaussian splats into gameable and walkable surroundings, as we can see.
So for those of you who are around the world and wondering what tools you can pick up at relatively low cost, Arrival.Space has the integration with Play Canvas and Super Splat sort of built in, and you can just jump in there and try things. Blender, free to use and useful if you're trying to do anything with these layers, or if you need to go in and edit a file, that's going to be essential learning. And I think many of our younger students are finding that they need Blender in their toolkit right away. Are there other tools that you would say are sort of indispensable for your creative process?
Post shot. It's actually doing after your line in your your photographs of a place. You have the camera alignment. You import that to post shot and train the Gaussian splat model. And I think they're also becoming better and better. They just came out with a subscription. Unfortunately, in order to render a PLY, a Gaussian splat, you have to pay monthly. But hey, they also have to make some money, I guess. Well, I will definitely work with Photoshop again. I think these are the tools. Oh, one more. We always forget the audio. And I'm kind of, actually, that was the biggest input I got from Reverse Butcher. She's an Australian artist.
Yes.
She does her sounds herself too. And I'm very musicophile, but it was the first time I felt compelled to the sound. I had another sound musician in Germany and she put in, but he never came back to me with the rights or telling me use it. And I would have gotten to go through the label, also understandable, but I made my own sound.
You made your own. So you didn't go the epidemic sound route or license anything. I have my Corda here. I like to make my own sound bases too.
Exactly.
And for many
immersive.
of us, it's if you enjoy things like designing haunted houses, the immersive web experience is somewhat similar because you're thinking about what's around the corner, what's going to drive the next interaction.
Thank you for joining the Realitycast. This interview with Jens Kull is part of a series of live casts captured for XRGuide. Thank you for joining us. This is Evo H. We'll see you in the next episode.
Your curated guide to worlds.